Hello and welcome back to another episode of the EPL Debate Show. Once again, my name is Lalit and with me I have your Sully, and we have an exciting episode for you today.
Yes, sir. A very exciting episode this week. We are going to be giving our thoughts and reactions from the last game week.
Yes?
We also have predictions for game week 2
Mm-hmm.
and a very special treat for the City and Chelsea game on Super Sunday. And lastly, of course, our reactions from the past fantasy week, plus a little bit of tips if you guys still are interested in listening to us for game week 2. So stay tuned and make sure you guys hit that follow button.
So let's talk about the game week we just had. Boy, was it interesting.
Absolutely, a beautiful start to the Premier League week. Had drama, had intensity, bad defending, everything you can hope for.
Exactly. So let's begin now with Arsenal versus West Ham.
In some ways, it's typical Arsenal because if you think about it, they went through the whole preseason unbeaten.
Mm-hmm.
They won 3 trophies, so they did the treble in the preseason.
Doesn't count them.
How much that's going to count for in the regular season, I don't know. But they do give their fans a lot of false hopes, and then the season starts and they fall in their face. So
Yeah, I wouldn't think too much into it. I think it was the first game, and if you think about it, both the goals can be, blamed into the mistakes of the goalkeeper, which is understandable. It's his first game with the Arsenal defense, and it's going to take some getting used to. But once they can establish that understanding, I feel you will
okay.
have.
Yeah,
You'll have less.
that's why I said it's typical Arsenal. I expect them to be fine, but then they always have their hopes crashing on them at some point in the season. So they'll be fine. Just one game.
Exactly. Besides, West Ham is not that bad of an opponent as well. All right, let's talk about Chelsea versus Swansea.
Boy.
Exciting game.
Exciting.
Exciting all around.
We'll save the talk. I know you guys do know about the main big talking point from that game with Mourinho coming out and publicly criticizing his medical staff, Dr. Eva to be precise, the beautiful Eva.
Beautiful Eva.
But we'll save that for the City and Chelsea segment for you guys. But talking about the game, what did you think about Chelsea's main defending in that game?
Well, I think Chelsea's defending wasn't as we expect them to be. The tight, uh, the
What a
strict,
tight,
the
right.
disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that has a lot to do with how Swansea played. I think Swansea were always pressing their players.
Plus, you predicted a 2-2 draw as well. Right?
Exactly, I did. And though I didn't predict the red card, but I think it would have been 2-2 regardless of the red card. And Swansea has to be, have to get a lot of credit to Swansea.
Right, definitely. Credit to Swansea for coming out and playing the offensive game like we all know they're used to. So definitely it was a good tactical plan by Gary Monk.
Exactly. All right, so let's talk about the first game of the season, Manchester United versus Spurs.
Boring.
I had to wake up early to watch that game, and I almost fell back asleep.
Right. In some ways, it's the same old United from last season.
Mm-hmm.
Pass the ball around in defense.
Exactly.
Even though they did have problems actually passing in defense that game as well. But once they got going into the final third, it just looks like they run out of ideas. I don't know what's going to fix that
Mm-hmm.
because we say they don't have creative minds in the game, but with Carrick, with Mata, with Memphis, I think they have enough quality in there.
And Herrera, I think.
Even though he didn't start the game.
I think United had a lot of players going out and a lot of players coming in, but at the end of the day, they just look like the same exact team. If you couldn't tell that it's a different team from last season, and they fall into the same exact pressure. Especially when they're in the final third, they have no creativity at that point. They don't know what to do, so they just keep on
They just
passing and
run
trying to
out of
open.
idea.
And oppositions know that,
Right.
and they're easy to break down in that sense.
Right. Only bright spot for them though would be the play of their wingback, Darmian.
Exactly.
We did see him after his exhausting play, came out with a cramp in the 80th minute.
Yeah.
But I think he's definitely one to watch out for.
Definitely, he was very good in that game. All right, let's talk about the two fascinating games we had. One Leicester versus Sunderland. Exciting.
Exciting, lot of beautiful goals from
Yes.
Mahrez and horrible defending, poor piss poor defending from Sunderland.
Uh-huh.
But you cannot blame Leicester for the way they came out first game of the season in front of their fans at the King Power Stadium. Claudio Ranieri's first game as their manager as well
Exactly.
back in the Premier League.
Exactly.
So they did come out and they showed.
I had predicted it's going to be a very high scoring win for Leicester, and so
Mhm.
because their forwards are so much more pumped up when they're playing in front of their home crowd.
Right, they showed that they can be a force to be reckoned with in the Premier League. So we'll see if that would keep them up.
Another team which can be a force is Watford.
That was a shock. That was definitely a
Definitely
shock
was.
because I thought it was going to be a comfortable win for Everton. But that shows you the beauty of the Premier League. You cannot take any team for granted.
You
So.
cannot, and I think Everton will cling on to that one point.
Mhm.
All right, and what about the City and West Brom?
Routine victory for City. The only bright spot for them, Silva and Yaya Toure was back to his best. So 2 beautiful goals as well. So if those two can play the way they played Monday night, City would definitely be given a strong challenge to Chelsea for that Premier League title.
Yeah, I agree. And then finally, the Liverpool and Stoke.
Boring game.
It wasn't exciting as last season.
Not as exciting exactly with the 6-1 defeat. But it was definitely a magical moment from Coutinho. And beautiful goal. We expect that from him.
Beautiful.
And a good way for Liverpool to get the revenge from last season. So a good way to start their season.
All right. Well, that was our thoughts about last
Alright,
week.
so let's start with our next segment. Predictions for game week 2. Friday night, Aston Villa hosting Manchester United. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tricky game, but history tells us that Villa Park is a good ground for United. So
Absolutely.
I'm going for United win by 1 goal. Again, United will have the majority of the possession, but let's see how they'll be able to penetrate the defense.
I am going for a United win as well, but I do agree with you. It's definitely going to be a tricky occasion for United. If I were Tim Sherwood, I would go with Rudy Gestede up front and isolate him against Daley Blind, let him cause him trouble because we know he has the size and the mass
Yeah.
to win the headers, and have Gabi Agbonlahor and Sinclair run off of him. And I think that would be a good way for Aston Villa to match up United. So it will be a tricky tie, but
Yeah.
I think United just have a little bit more than Villa.
Okay. What about the Southampton versus Everton?
I am going for a home win here, but I think it's going to be close. So I'll go for a 2-1 win for Southampton.
I actually think it's going to be a Southampton victory by 2 goals. Everton were very weak in their first game, and I feel that form will continue in the second game. And Southampton at home, the first game, they're going to be comfortable, and if they can score the first goal early, then they can score a couple of more goals on Everton.
And then we have Spurs versus Barcelona. And in Barcelona, I do mean Stoke. Thoughts?
It's going to be a very difficult game to predict, to be honest with you, because Stoke has some very good players, and they also bought Shaqiri, which is an excellent buy for them.
Absolutely.
So I'm going for a draw simply because on paper those two teams for now look very even. But then again, this is the Premier League, so anything can happen.
I do agree with you. I am going for a score draw here. I think both teams would have enough to cause each other problems, and should be a close tie.
Exactly.
So next we have Sunderland hosting Norwich.
Again, a very difficult game to call, but I think the home team will win this one. Yes, I think Sunderland has good enough attackers in order to deal with the Norwich defense.
Sunderland's defense should be terrible enough to concede another goal, but I think if Defoe, Fletcher, and Larson can play the way they played at King Power Stadium, I think they should have enough to see Norwich away.
If they can score 2 goals, then they're going to win the game.
Definitely. And then we go to the south of Wales with Swansea hosting the Magpies.
Again, I'm going for a draw with this one, and reason again because I can't really separate the two teams. I think Swansea will not be able to reproduce the sort of performance they did with Chelsea, and that's why I think Newcastle will have a little bit more say in this game than we would expect. So I'm going for a draw. maybe a 1-1 drawing.
No, I disagree with you on this occasion.
Mhm.
I think the home team will keep majority of the possession,
Mm-hmm.
and with the way that they play their football, we know they do have enough in attack to
Okay.
penetrate and cause Newcastle a lot of problems. So I think they should win this comfortably.
All right, we'll wait and see, I guess. So what about Watford and West Bromwich Albion?
Not a lot between the two teams, really, but I'll go for a home win here. The Nigerian Beast.
Oh yeah, Igalo.
I think he will be the difference.
I have Watford as the winners in my list as well. I think they're going to win. West Brom will try to win this game. This is they would have looked at this game and said we can go and win this, but I think Watford has different plans. And that brings us to another tricky game: Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. What's going to happen?
Crystal Palace, Arsenal. I am going for an away win. I think Arsenal will fix their problems from
Mhm.
defense last week, and offensively, I think they will set up the right way this time with Walcott up front, just so that they can get behind the defense, and I think they should win this by 2 goals.
I'm actually going for a home win on
Really?
this occasion. Yes.
Okay.
I think Crystal Palace play very well at home against top teams. We saw them creating problems for Arsenal last season, for Liverpool, for United, and I think that sort of form will continue, especially after the signings they've made so far. And they know that Arsenal would look at would be coming to this game with some sort of pressure. And if Alan Pardew can start the game well, then I'm going for a home win.
Okay. You did miss the Hammers and Leicester.
Yes, the Leicester I think is not going to win this game. I think West Ham will win this game.
I am actually going for a high scoring draw.
High scoring draw.
Yes.
We'll have to wait and see on that one as well, I guess.
And we do have City and Chelsea as well. We're not going to discuss that in this segment. We did tell you guys we have a special treat for you for the City and Chelsea game. So we'll give our thoughts in there. And last game of the game week, Liverpool hosting Bournemouth.
I'm
The
going,
Cherries at Anfield.
I'm going for a home win for Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm going for an easy home win. Liverpool should have enough for Bournemouth to see them off at home.
And even if they don't, they have Coutinho.
That is true. Sometimes all you need is magic.
All right, that was our predictions for this upcoming game week. Let's see how things go.
All right, guys. Welcome to our segment for Super Sunday. We have the clash of the top 2 from last season, number 1 versus number 2. To my right, I have
Sid.
and to my left, we have
Godwin.
All right, those two will be doing battle right now. All right, guys. City hosting Chelsea. Number 1 versus number 2. Does not get bigger than this. Touch pens and let the battle begin. Number 1, we're starting with the formations for both managers. City, how do you set up?
All right, so I got Joe Hart, England number 1 in the goal. 2 big physical defenders in Company and Mangala. I got Bakary Saina, still backing up Zabaleta since a long layoff after the Copa America. Kolarov taking advantage of Clichy's injury. In the middle, I have Fernandinho and Yaya Toure matched up. I have Navas and Sterling, ever fast wingers on the team. I also got Silva on number 10 role and ever prolific striker Kun Aguero.
All right, a 4-2-3-1 from City. Chelsea, up next.
Okay, we have Bekovic in goal because of Courtois' red card. We have Aspi, Cahill, Terry, and Ivanovic back 4. We have Matic and Ramirez to keep it tight in the middle. And we have Oscar playing in front of them. Also, we have Hazard, Willian on the left and right. And then we have Costa up front.
All right, intriguing matchup. Another 4-2-3-1 from Chelsea. As clearly seen on the board, we do have the key players matched out. So, Chelsea, let's start with you. Discuss your matchup and who to watch out for.
Mainly, you want to watch out for Hazard. He's a reigning PFA Player of the Year. He should take care of Sagna. Sagna's not too solid. So I feel he's going to take care of him. I mean, yeah, he's the key player here, but, Costa will play his role as well.
All right, we're going for the reigning PFA Player of the Year for Chelsea. City, who is your player to watch out for?
So as you can see on the board, I got Sterling marked as the key player for Man City in this game. I'm already getting a few looks from some of you, I'm sure, that I haven't picked Silva as my key player. I can explain that. Just give me a moment. All right. So if you remember the last game, Chelsea versus Swansea, you can remember what Montero did to Ivanovic, turned him inside out, right? And Sterling with more pace and more skill. I can't wait to see what he does to Ivanovic. And also, Kun is back, so he will definitely help Sterling, give him a target to assist.
All right, we have the new boy from Liverpool for Manchester City and Raheem Sterling. All right, guys, down to the nitty bitty. Predictions for the game. City, go first. What's your game prediction?
So this should not be a surprise to anybody. We all know how Mourinho is going to approach this game and play park the bus. City, as ever, very offensive team. Marked up. I will still give a goal to Chelsea. I'm going for 2-1 in favor of City. Kun Aguero nicking one and Sterling getting his first goal of the Premier League under City shirt.
All right, Chelsea, what do you think will be the outcome?
I think 1-0 to Chelsea. I feel as if we're going to hold it very, very tight in the back. You know how West Brom, we're going to give them that West Brom feel. We're going to make them feel as if they can come in, but knowing that we're just going to catch them on a counterattack. We have far better players than West Brom, and we don't show so much respect, but we just give them the deception feel that they can actually come and score. I mean, the last two games was 1-1, so this one is definitely just going to be different. So I'm going to give it to 1-0 Chelsea.
All right, there we have it. In-depth analysis and match breakdown for the Super Clash on Sunday. All right, Mr. Godwin, give us a little brief detail about the Chelsea medic situation right now.
Okay, I feel as if Dr. Eva handled it very unprofessionally. You don't take business that has happened on the field and you don't take it online. Like, we're a team. Know that whatever you say here, the media's going to always blow it up. So that was really unprofessional on her part. I feel she could have done a better job. Even though Mourinho criticized the whole team, they didn't criticize her personally. They criticized two people. And one person chose to keep it to himself while the other chose to take it onto social media. And that's why she received the punishment that she did.
Okay, all righty. That's the team news from Chelsea. We'll be joining Manchester City up next. All right, Sib, transfer activity in Manchester, the city.
This season, I'll give Man City a B+. Just acquisition of services of Raheem Sterling, a young English talented player. Some people think it's overpriced, but all the English players are. Still 21-year-old and very fast and quick. So I think it's a good buy. We also have Dzeko leaving for Roma. Good 4.5 years, but I think it was about time for him to leave and find a new challenge in his career. We also have Kevin De Bruyne that we're going transfer saga, don't we? And we hope to resolve this week, so maybe he'll feature in Chelsea's game.
Okay, that should be interesting. All right. On to our next segment, reactions and thoughts from Fantasy Week 1, plus predictions for Game Week 2. But first, Game Week 1, man.
Yes, I had Courtois as my goalkeeper, and that's why I promoted as a tip last week. Unfortunately, you can't predict the red cards, and that's basically what happened. So I lost 2 points, and I do apologize for that.
But you did analyze the Leicester game right on point.
Yes, I did expect them to score a lot of goals, and I did have Vardy as one of my strikers. Got a goal for me. Not too bad.
Right. Pretty good. Well, I fell flat on my face. I did predict Bournemouth keeping a clean sheet. That didn't go too well with Rudiger stabbing me in my heart. But then the second game as well, Arsenal
Did not score a lot of goals. Huh?
Yeah, we'll take that. But for this week, though, if you are going for a clean sheet, my prediction would be the Villa and United game. I do see United keeping majority of the possession. And my star watch for that game would be Darmian. We did see him bombing up and down that right-hand flank, so I'd say he'll probably chip in with an assist and a clean sheet. So Darmian would be my pick and tip for this week.
All right, and for my side, if you're looking for a cheap striker in your team, definitely go for Watford's Igalo. He scored 20 goals last season, and he scored a very good goal in the first game as well. And Watford looks like the kind of team that likes scoring, so definitely have him. And if you're looking to replace Courtois, I would go with the Liverpool's Mignolet.
All right, so there you have it, guys. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter. Link is right there and below the video as well. And follow us on our fantasy league. Our codes are below. So come hang with us, see how you guys do. That's our show for this week. Special shout out to our guests, Sib and Godwin. Thanks for the insights, guys.
Yes, I hope the game is as good as it seems to be. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for joining us.